Welcome back to the morning show. It is 7:25. Time for part two of our Wise Guy segment. Our U of I physics professor, Matt Selwyn, is back. And Matt, we talked about cool and showing how you could use some stuff at home to make like a cold compress.
Right.
Now we're moving to heat.
Now we're moving to heat. And so, of course, you can do heat with chemistry, too. And because a lot of reactions are exothermic, they give off heat. And I just found yesterday in the drugstore this little body heat deal. And it's got some iron powder in it, and it has some activated charcoal. And when you expose it to air, that's all it takes. Basically, the iron oxidizes, and the thing gets warm, and it stays warm for hours and hours and hours. So you can sort of tape it inside your boots or something if you're in the winter.
Sure.
But what I really came to talk about today, because it's so cool, are these things, these reheat packs. You can use them over and over again. And basically, it's a liquid in here, and when you push the little button in here, I'll show you this one. Where's the little button? Here it is. So what I want you to do is to, see the little clicker?
I do.
Click the little clicker. Okay. And you click the little clicker, and the thing
Heats up.
Well, it should. Well, anyways, we'll do this one because I know this one's working. And so let me explain how it works before we do it. So if you see some water with some ice floating in it, you know that this is at 0 degrees.
Right.
And if you were to put this on the stove, it would remain at 0 degrees if you stirred it until all the ice was gone, because when a solid melts into a liquid, heat is taken in, okay? It takes in heat. If you put this thing, if you put it in the freezer and the thing starts to melt, or I mean starts to freeze, what happens is that heat is removed. Okay, so when you go from a liquid to a solid, heat is emitted, and that's what happens in your freezer. That heat is carried away. Now, if you could somehow cool water down so that it was way below 0 degrees before it started to actually freeze, which is very difficult to do, then what you could basically have something that was really, really cold, but as soon as it started to freeze, it would heat up because of the heat that was released as it froze. Okay? Now, with water, that's hard to do because it freezes very easily, and it's hard to stop it from freezing. But you can do it very carefully with very clean containers and stuff like that. But with this stuff, which is sodium acetate, when it's a liquid, you can actually cool it way below its freezing point without it starting to crystallize.
Really?
Because it wants to crystallize when there's already a crystal there, but if there isn't already a crystal forming or there, then it has no place to start. Okay? And so what this stuff is now, this stuff normally, the melting point of this stuff is 130 degrees Fahrenheit. We are in this studio at 75 degrees Fahrenheit, way below when this thing ought to be a solid, okay, way below the freezing point, but it's still a liquid. So now if I click this little doodad, okay, can you see what happens?
Yeah.
Can you see the thing spreading? Feel it, okay?
Oh, it's...
See, and you can see the solid spreading. Isn't that cool?
That is very cool.
Okay, so it goes from liquid to solid. When something goes from liquid to solid, a lot of heat is liberated. That's the latent heat, and that heat basically makes this thing heat up. So it wants to get up to like 130 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
Okay, and the beauty of these things is, okay, now this thing is warm, and this goes on for a while as the stuff solidifies. The heat is released into your body and so on. You can use this thing for a hot compress or whatever. But the beauty is you can just throw this in some boiling water, because boiling water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which is enough to melt all this stuff. So you can turn it back into a liquid, and then you can just set it on your counter, right? And it cools off kind of slowly, and it gets way below that freezing point without actually freezing. So it's super cooled, we call it. It's not an equilibrium situation. And you can just use it again and again and again. Every time you want some heat, you give it a little click, which I think is just... I mean, I'm kind of nerdy, so I think maybe this is cooler than most people, but...
It is very cool.
Yes.
And thanks for showing it.
Okie dokie.
All right, if you want to see rebroadcast this segment, just go to our website, illinoishomepage.net. Just look under the Wise Guy. You go to Matt's very own personal website, wiseguy.net. We're back for more of the morning show right after this.
See you next week.
You bet.